Hi there, gorgeous, and a very happy Drugstore December to you. Today is the last day of Drugstore December, and I want to say thank you so much to everyone who watched a majority of the videos this month, if not every video. If you did, God bless you. Thank you, because oh my goodness, 5 videos a week for the whole month, all Drugstore. It was awesome. For those of you who are newly subscribed this month, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to you, let you know I do make videos like the Drugstore ones you saw this month every Friday for my series called Frugal Fridays. And for those who are not aware, I also make videos on Mondays and Wednesdays. So Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays is when you can catch me usually on YouTube. Friday is my Drugstore series, and Monday and Wednesday is basically whatever I feel like uploading. Sometimes it's Drugstore, sometimes it's high-end, sometimes it's something creative. So whichever way the wind blows me. Today I'm going to be showing you a New Year's Eve look, the look that I'm wearing right here. It's using mostly Wet n Wild makeup products. I am throwing in a pressed glitter with this look that is not Drugstore. It's the only product that's not Drugstore, but glitter is a dime a dozen. You can find it pretty much anywhere. I was originally planning on using the ColourPop Rendezvous palette for this look, but I didn't really care for the way that one came out. Sorry. So I will be doing this one in a future Frugal Fridays. But anyway, I'll show you everything on how to get this from start to finish. For this look today, I'm using the Petalette palette from Wet n Wild. I wanted to do something a little bit different other than browns, which I'm sure most people are tired of seeing. So we're going to change things up. And I'm taking this creased shade first from the palette. I'm using the Sigma E30 pencil brush here. I do already have a primer applied, by the way. And I'm using this eyeshadow directly in the crease, and I'm basically going to outline my crease. So if you had hooded eyes, what you would want to do is line above the socket line. So where your socket line would be, you'd want to put this color above that. Taking this eyeshadow and connecting it back to the outer third of the lid. And then creating a point also. Some advice I'll give you here for creating a look like this is it's good to deposit a majority of the eyeshadow you gather on your brush into the crease first, and then use what's remaining on the brush to swipe it into the outer V to create that point. You don't want to go back into the eyeshadow, because then you will end up applying too much product, or too much eyeshadow I should say, and it becomes a little harder to blend at that point. So I'm using the residual on the brush here. Ooh, my room is starting to smell pretty. I think I have Champagne Toast in the background here from Bath & Body Works. I love that candle this time of year. I'm taking the transition shade from this palette, and I'm using a more fluffy brush this time. This is from Sedona Lace. It is the EB09 brush, and I'm using this eyeshadow to blend out those harsh edges, and I've applied too much. I'm glad this happened. I'm going to show you how to fix it. This is what happens usually when I use a brush that is way too fluffy. I need a more densely packed brush because it's starting to rub away some of that crease color. So I'm going to go back and add some more of that crease color using the Sigma E25. Aha! I'm now going in with the transition shade from this palette, and I'm not taking too much of it. I'm going to tap off the excess actually, and use this sparingly to blend out the edges of that deeper purple. Because before, if I would have continued using the brush I was using, I would be blending away a lot of that darker purple, and that's not what I want to do. That's not the objective of this look. I want to keep that purple strong, but fade the edges. I'm adding a little bit of eyeshadow at a time. I'm probably really chopping this up so you're not seeing all the steps I'm doing, but the way that I'm doing it is I'm adding a little bit of that transition shade, blending that, and then I'm taking a little bit more on the brush here, going back and blending again. So I'm not applying too much because, like I said, I want to keep that deep purple shade rather strong in the crease. I'm not using a color for the lid. I'm using a very glittery eyeshadow. It's not really an eyeshadow, but it's more of just a pressed glitter. So before I get to that part of the application, I'm going to apply an eyeliner real quick here. This is Ardell's Wanna Get Lucky pencil, and I'm not sure what color it is. It's a deep purple, but there is literally no name on it whatsoever. But I'm applying this onto the waterline. I love these pencils. They are very pigmented, as you can see here, and they last for a good amount of time on the waterline too without rubbing off. So they are excellent for events, especially like New Year's. And I'm also tightlining the upper waterline, and this is why I'm doing this before the glitter application, because once I get glitter on my lid, I'm not going to want it to really move around too much. So I'm trying to get all of this out of the way first. Now for my lid in this look, I'm not using a drugstore product. I apologize for that. This was a product I picked up this past year, and I really wanted to include it for a holiday look, and I couldn't think of a better look to do it with. This is from the brand Mehron. This is their Pressed Glitter palette. I am going to be using this silver shade right in the center there. And if you want to use a drugstore glitter, I believe NYX has a lot to choose from. That would be the brand that I would look to first for glitter. But this is a pressed glitter eyeshadow, and you can apply it directly to the eyes, and it sticks and stays put and all that wonderful, great stuff. But I am going to apply it with a glitter glue, just to be sure. This is the NYX Glitter Primer, and the way that I like to do this is I mix it on the back of my hand first, and then I'll apply it directly to the lid. So I have a good amount on my hand there, and I've got it on my brush, and applying it directly onto the lid. Now, this is a little too much, so the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to wipe my brush of the excess and then come back and spread around what I have on my lid here. And I am going to go back in with more of that deep purple eyeshadow and add it to the outer third of the lid and tap it into the glitter. For my lashes, I am going to go with a little bit of a dramatic pair from the Allure brand. And this is what the box looks like. It says Marquise on it. That's the only point of reference I have. For the rest of my face here, I am going to use the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation. Yes! Because if I was going out, I would be wanting something to stick to my face like glue, and this would do it. And I just want to say, if you're planning on going out for New Year's and you know you're going to be having a little too much fun with alcohol and whatnot, please, 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 please do not drive afterwards, please. There are a lot of people depending on you to get home safely in your life, and others who also need to get home safely. So call an Uber, call a friend. I know there are taxis out there who offer rides home and whatnot for New Year's. Just please do not get behind the wheel intoxicated. And for my concealer, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me. I am in the shade Fair. Jet found this one for me not too long ago. I was like, wow, where did you find that? He finds the darndest things. Knows how to hide them too, though, let me tell you. Oh my gosh, the boy can hide some stuff too. To set everything here, I'm using the Catrice Prime and Fine Waterproof Powder. Great stuff, locks everything in place. It's one of the best drugstore powders I've ever used. Now that I have my face done, I'm going to go back and do a little something extra to the eyes. I'm going to start with some of that really deep purple from the Petalette palette. And using an angled brush here, I'm going to apply that directly under that lower lash line. I'm taking the smallest amount of that transition shade from the Petalette palette also with the Sigma E30 and running that underneath that dark purple eyeshadow. Using an old Wet n Wild contour palette, I'm taking this shade. Yeah, how old is this palette? But still love it. I'm using that to define the face a little more. Since this is a dramatic look, I figured why not. And for my blush, I'm using a baked blush that came out this past year. I think that's when it came out. It's called Don't Flutter Yourself. This was part of a limited edition collection. Mine is completely broken, so I can't open it and show it to you. I'm gonna have to be really careful when I open this one myself. Don't wanna press it back together. It crumbles so easily that by the time I go through that trouble, it's going to crack again. I may end up just putting it in a compact and calling it a day, honestly. But look at that. I can't throw it out. It's so pretty. For my lip liner, I'm going with one from LA Girl. This is in Nonstop Nude. It's one of their Intense Stay Auto Liners. And I'm pairing it up with, you know, Maybelline's Blushing Beige. Happy New Year to each and every one of you, and I wish you a very blessed 2019. I am taking the whole first week of January off from YouTube. I am exhausted. I have a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old, and for the whole month of December, I wasn't even getting to bed until 2 a.m. most nights, and then I would wake up at 7:30 a.m. and do the whole thing over and over and over and over and over. So, yes. I'm still going to be working. I'm working on the Inky Minky website and my Eyeshadow Consultant website, so I'll be in the background doing administrative stuff, but you just won't see me here on YouTube. But I will be back the second week of January. On that Monday, I'm going to be doing my Pantone Color of the Year Drugstore edition, where I show you drugstore makeup picks for the Pantone Color of the Year, which I think is Coral this year. So I'm excited to do that video for you. And I'm looking forward to a 2019 without death. The only good thing that came out of it was my beautiful daughter. Everything else, I didn't share this on the channel, and I don't know how many people know, but we had 4 people very close to us pass away in 2018, so not a good year. So if you had a rather 2018, I wish you a very blessed 2019. Both of us are gonna have a much better year this year. I know we will. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being subscribed, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.